Joey King, and I'm gonna walk you through my skincare, beauty routine, and like, you know, my everyday makeup look. First, what I do is I use like a exfoliating cleanser, like a gel cleanser. I wash my face with like water every day. This is just like a peeling gel exfoliant. So I'm gonna like, and you're supposed to do it on dry skin, which is kind of funny. And this is really awesome because I have super like dry skin only on my nose. So I use this and it's like, it's crazy. You can kind of like, it's kind of gross, but you can like see the dead skin like coming off from your face on your hands. Okay, so I washed my face off and now it's all clean and nice. Today, the skincare gods were upon me because my eyes were not super puffy when I woke up, but most days my eyes are very puffy when I wake up, especially if I eat something salty the night before, like, you know, pizza, something like that. So I use these deep puffing eye patches so that when I go to greet my family in the morning in the kitchen, I don't scare them. So I put these on and they're really, I like the way they feel. My mom would always have us when we were kids, like before we went to school and stuff, she would always make sure we like washed our faces with water in the morning and put sunscreen on before we left. So that has always been part of my skincare routine. Sunscreen is so important to me. Okay, so I'm gonna take these off now. I feel like it's been a decent amount of time. Okay, so next what I do to like clean my skin, just an extra oomph. Thayer's Witch Hazel. So I just use a little bit of this on a little bit of this on a cotton pad. Is that what you call that? I think the hardest thing for my skin is when I like step on a new set and they start using products on me that I'm not used to. My skin goes through a lot of stuff, so ultimately she's a tough cookie, and I'm thankful for her. So I put on eye cream every day. I use Kiehl's Creamy Eye Treatment with Avocado, and what I do is, and this is like my grandma and my mom always taught me this, when you're applying eye cream, you just dab it on. You just do a little dab, nothing more. I like things and have like symmetry, so if I do it to the bottom, I like to do it to the top. After I do my eye cream, I use this. It is Clinical Reparative Moisture. There's a little bit of this, like 2 pumps. I always put moisturizer on my face, but I always put it on my neck too. I moisturize everything just so that, you know, because it makes me feel good. And why the hell do I not want to feel good? I use Mario Badescu Skincare Facial Spray. This smells so good. I feel like I'm at a spa whenever I do it. I just take a moment to myself and I'm just like. After I get my skin all clear and prepped and moisturized and stuff, I add a little bit of this serum. It's Self-Tan Drops Tanologist. I want to feel tone, tan, fit, and ready. So what I do is I kind of just, oh, that was my dog, by the way. That's my golden retriever just whining. And then I just rub it in really well. Okay, so now I'm ready for some makeup. I always start with my eyes because if I get like powder on my face from my eyes, I can always just wipe it off before putting on my foundation. So how I prep my eyes is with Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. So I just use a little bit of this, I put a little bit of that on my hand, and I dab it on with my fingers. This is one of my favorite palettes of all time. It's Lorac Mega 3 Pro. So I always start with the lighter color, like these two. Actually I don't usually use that one. I use Tan and Pecan usually. Just start and I just kind of like get it all over the lid just to have a base and cover up my like veins on my eyelids. So it's like a little more of like my natural skin tone to start. I've always loved makeup since I was a little girl. I started getting really into makeup after I did a movie called Oz the Great and Powerful. Urban Decay came out with a line for the movie for the Good Witch and the Bad Witch, and I had the Good Witch palette, the Glinda palette, and I became so obsessed with it, and that's what really got me into makeup, was that palette, and I wore it everywhere. So I love makeup. So now I'm using these three: Walnut, Dusty Mauve, and Violet Gray, because I want to do like a little bit of a pinky look. So I'm gonna do this on the outer corners of my eyes. So now what I'm gonna do is, I love like to do matte looks, but I can't shy away from a little sparkle. I love sparkle. I love a little glimmer. I use a little shade called Kava and Bellini. So I just put that on the middle of my little, ooh, you can already see how nice that is. So I like that. That's pretty because it just like, you have a little bit of the darkness on the outside and then it just opens up a little bit in the middle. There's this product I like to use as well on my eyes. It's called Tower. It's like this, it's called Bronzino. I just dab a little, like my finger in it a little bit. As you can see, I've done that several times. And I just like go on the outer corners where I did the darker shadow and I just go like that. And it kind of just adds like a nice little like glow and shine, but also like it's a bronzy look. That's that. Okay, and then one of my favorite things is eyeliner. I think eyeliner for especially blue eyes can really just bring out like a lot. What I like to do is I take a little eyeliner brush like this and I wet it with some Urban Decay All Nighter spray. I just wet the brush. Then I take a nice dark eyeshadow, whatever I want. Usually what I do is I don't do black, I do a dark brown. That's my favorite, so I'm gonna use this color Bark. And then I just put some eyeliner on. I do top and bottom. One thing I wanna do though is I wanna make it a little bit darker on the top. So I'm gonna wet this again. And I'm gonna go with a little bit deeper of a brown color because this one still has like a mauve to it. I wanna go one that's a little more ashy. So I'm going with a shade called Hickory. Hang on, I'm just gonna use this mirror too. Life is full of surprises and so is eyeliner. Now that my eyes are they're pretty much done, I'm just gonna wait for mascara. I do that last. What I'm gonna do is my eyebrows now, and I use like IT Cosmetics Brow Power. So I brush my eyebrows up first so I can see what needs to be filled in. Just kind of like fill in the blanks. Not too much though. I don't wanna look like I'm like trying to make my eyebrows too thick and dark. I just want them to be kind of just a little bit more of a refined shape of what they already are. I always think about how weird it is. Like eyebrows are so weird. They're literally like 2 strips of hair above your eye. Like what? So what I do for brow maintenance now, since I know what it's like to destroy your brows, I don't overpluck. I mean, I just like, you know, I do my own eyebrows. I don't get them done. I just get like the little strays in this area, the little stuff in the middle, but like other than that, I don't really touch them. Okay, I'm not gonna do anything more than that. I mean, they're like fine. They're cute right now, and this is a natural look. It's time for some foundation. My favorite foundation to use is IT Cosmetics. This is their CC Plus Illumination SPF 50. That's the most important part. Whatever foundation you use, whatever works for you, either it needs to have SPF or you need to put SPF on yourself. Okay, so how I apply my foundation, I apply it with like, I just get these sponges at the drugstore. So I use these, they're great. I replace them like once a week because they're so, you know, they're so cheap and you get them in a big bag. So I just put a little bit on my hand. So I just dab, I dab. And I get it underneath my neck too a little bit, just so that it blends. Just like that, I don't do too much. I don't go crazy, I just, you know, I get a little bit, because it matches pretty well on my skin. It just depends on how tan I am usually. And usually I'm not that tan, so. So next what I wanna do is I wanna put on a little bit of concealer, and I use Tarte. It lasts me so long, because it's just a little bit goes a long way. It's so thick and nice. I just dab that there. And I also like do a little bit on the tip of my nose and a little bit on, you know, whatever spots need some loving. And I just take my sponge, same one I use for my foundation. I just kind of dab it. I dab it in. I don't know if you're supposed to use like brushes for this kind of stuff. I always go like this after I put on foundation because I'm like, I don't know, I don't want to have a line. Ah. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do my contour. So I use Fenty Beauty Mocha. I love Rihanna, love everything about her. I love her makeup. So I just go like this with my brush, with the thing. And I just, you know, do that thing where you're like, oh, that's where my cheek is. And I just go like that. So then I do it up here as well. And then I also do a little bit on my jaw because I don't really have a jawline. I like my nose, you know, it's fine. But it's like a little button nose. It's like less like angular, which I like, but I just want the bridge of it to be a little more like refined, especially if my cheeks are so much more refined. So I just put a little bit on my nose. Not too much though, because I don't want to like make my face look different than it actually is. So what I also use to like blend that in and make it feel more like Oh, that's just her face. I use Marc Jacobs. It's called Tantastic. It's just a little like powder bronzer. I like my pale skin, but if I'm just like gonna, you know, make my cheeks kind of blend in more with the Mocha Fenty Beauty, I just put a little bit of this on there to even it out. So I like do my absolute best to use cruelty-free products on the daily. Sometimes when I get gifted stuff, like I start using it and then like I look it up later and I realize it's tested on animals. I'm like, oh my God. So I've been actively trying for the past several years to only use products that are like cruelty-free and not tested on animals and are completely vegan. And I'm almost 3 million % positive that Charlotte Tilbury is one of those brands, and that is my next product. It is a blush. It is called Beach Stick. I love this blush stick. It's so pretty. It has like a little glimmer in it, and we know how much I love a glimmer. So what I do is I take the stick and I directly just dab it on my cheeks. And I smile a little bit when I do it so I can see my cheekbones. I just wanted to look like I was like sitting in the sun a little bit and, you know, just got a little color. Next, what I want to do is I want to use a little bit of highlight because I love it. And I use Urban Decay's Naked Illuminated Fireball. So I just kind of go like this, swip, swip, swip. I also like to exchange products with my friends, and like they come over and they take some stuff and like I'll take some of their stuff. Now what I'm gonna do is put on mascara. I have a weird technique. I blink my mascara on. That's been frowned upon by several people I know. They're like, why do you do that? It's just what works for me. It's easy for me. I can't like, you know, rub it on. I don't know how people do that. Look at that. Like, totally different people. Okay, now I'm gonna do the other side. I'm happy with that. It just kind of woke up my face a little bit. Mascara changes everything. Okay, and now I'm like pretty much done. I'm actually gonna add a little bit more blush because it's kind of gone away. But I'm gonna do my lipstick now, and then I'm pretty solid, I think. I wanted to put a little highlight right here, so I'm just gonna go back to this and just put on my pinky and go like that. Okay, what I like to do is I do a little lip liner first. Okay, so I just line a little bit, not too much. And then I kind of like drag it down like that. So what I'm gonna do now is that I have like this natural kind of color on. I'm gonna use a little bit of, this is called Buxom. Okay, and to finish off everything, I spray some setting spray on my face so that it lasts all day long. And now my face has to dry. I'm gonna go like this. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Joey King. Thank you, Vogue, for having me. Love you, Vogue. And yeah, this was really fun.